Medical tourism is a billion-dollar industry in India, and it is projected to grow in leaps and bounds. Kenyans have been significantly contributing to this sector of the Indian health system. Kenyans from all walks of life, including members of parliament and their relatives. I'm Dr. Masi Korira, and this is Health Digest. In 2017 alone, 97% of Kenyans seeking treatment out of the country went to India. Majority sought treatment or diagnosis for certain types of cancers, management of end-stage kidney failure for a possible second or third kidney transplant, liver transplants, arthritis affecting joints requiring replacements such as total shoulder replacement, heart disease requiring open heart surgery, and even back problems. Out of the 112 people that were duly registered and authorized to seek treatment abroad, one person went to South Africa for sight restoration and another to the United Kingdom for a back problem. Those are just the numbers recorded. We know of or have participated in fund drives to raise money to meet in part or in full medical costs associated with seeking treatment in India or any other country. So we ask ourselves, what is so bad with our health system that we have to seek and look to the east, to the Indian subcontinent? We answer that question through the eyes of Kenyans who have lived that experience.
My name is Miri Wanchiko, and I'm 33 years old, and I'm suffering from chronic kidney failure. Well, it started back in the year 2008. That's when I was first diagnosed with it, and I was put on dialysis at that time. It was too late to pick on the cause of the kidney failure, but later I was told that I had hypertension. 10 years with chronic kidney failure, it has really drained us financially.
It was during the year 2013 when I discovered that my painful ear was discharging some blood. So I went to Kisi Teaching and the Referral Hospital to seek medication.
I fell sick in 2008.
You were about it?
I was 23 years old, yes.
Here you're 23, you were diagnosed with high blood pressure, you're told your kidneys are failed, you'll have to start dialysis. How did you take all this?
To be sincere, I was shocked and I was in denial for quite a long time. Let me say, I didn't know what kidney failure is. That is, I've never encountered anyone with such a condition. So I went into denial for quite some time. But after some time, after being talked to and being advised and told this is not the end of it all, yeah, I accepted my situation. And that's when I started dialysis.
In 2014, they continued with the medication, but I was not improving. So they referred me to Kenyatta National Hospital. September 2015, they had an operation, and during the operation they sealed the ear. The eardrum had a hole, and the hole was occasioned by urine from the bats, the flying mammals. When I was sleeping, they were on the ceiling and they urinated into my ear. So Kenyatta National Hospital did an operation and they sealed the hole. 2017, I started feeling a lot of pain, especially when I sleep. So I had to go back to Kenyatta National Hospital, but unfortunately, I didn't get the doctors. So I went to Coptic Hospital, which is just near Kenyatta National Hospital. They received me well.
I was put on dialysis for about 18 months. During that time, the doctors could advise me to have a transplant. I got a donor who happened to be my aunt, my maternal aunt. My first transplant was done in Kenyatta National Hospital. That was in June 2010. Well, I was excited because this was a new lease of life. And at that time, actually, let me take you back. Before I got to do the transplant, it was a real hassle for finances. At that time, we had done so many fundraisings, we could not get enough money. But luckily, a well-wisher stepped in and he footed all the bill for my transplant. So at least I was happy, I was relieved, because I knew at that time we didn't struggle that much. Now at least someone came in, yeah, and he promised to also take care of my, after transplant, you're put on a lifetime medication, which is very costly. He also promised to take care of that. That was a bit relieving on my part and my family, because I don't know how we would have managed it. The kidney served me very well. And for about 3.5 years, everything was okay till it started showing signs of rejection. I was put back on dialysis in the year 2013 years exactly.
I went to theater with high hopes that my condition could now improve. And then I submitted everything. When I woke up, that's when I got that the worst had happened, because during the surgery in the theater, there were only 2. It was like, how come in Kenyatta it was a team of doctors who were operating on me, and in the hospital there were only 2. I just prayed to God and said, since I've come, let me see now, let me hope for the best.
What did you feel when now you learn that it's failing?
Or I'll tell you, it was the worst thing, that I think the worst news that anyone ever broke to me. I remember crying in my doctor's clinic. I really cried. I could not believe it. At that time, I said, I'm not ready to go back for dialysis again, because I knew what dialysis is. It's not the best thing. That's, in as much as it helps you to keep going, it's not the best. So it was the worst news that someone broke to me.
When I woke up, Dr. Chandu came to my bedside and said, Steve, have you looked at the mirror? I said, I've not looked at the mirror. Then he gave me time to look at the mirror. What I saw really made me sad, because my mouth was twisted to the right side, and my eye could not blink. So I really felt bad during that moment, because the Steve who went to the theater is not the Steve who I saw in the mirror. So when I asked him what happened, he told me that during the surgery, he accidentally severed my facial nerve. Then I told him, doctor, now what can I do? He told me it will be fine, but it will take time.
At least my doctor encouraged me, said still told me this is not the end of life, it happens. So, and you can still go for a second transplant. I could not go for another transplant immediately, and I had to be put on dialysis for about 1 year, because my antibodies were very high, and they needed to bring them down. So I dialyzed for 1 year, and then I was advised now to go for the transplant. At this time, the doctor said the transplant could not be done here in Kenya. This was due to a procedure that I needed, which is plasma exchange, which is not locally available.
He booked me for post-surgery clinics, and I went there for 3 months, and he was always assuring me that one day I'll be well. But I realized I was now losing balance. They gave me crutches to use when I used to walk the streets of Nairobi. I was almost falling down. Until when I went back one morning, he said, now, Steve, let us try Nairobi Hospital for a second opinion. The head of the ENT department indicated that it was too late to undo, but he couldn't refer me to another hospital. The doctor wrote a referral to India, and that's when I realized that my condition was now beyond their management. So I came back to Kisii with the referral letter and said, my God, now where do I get this money to take me for medication in India? But I thank God because my family and my staff stood by me. They contributed.
So going to India, you see, at least there was hope. And because they were giving me assurance, like, we can fix this, we can do it, just let us do our work. It was awesome. The way the doctors handle you, the nurses, it's a different experience, you know. I would say the fact that it was my first time to seek medical attention beyond the country and all that. I think, but was there anything about it apart from that? I don't know. I don't think so. Sorry to say. But the experience is just awesome. You get to know, learn. Those people, they are far much exposed.
So in India, 2017, March, I was operated on the ear once again. They found out that the oscars in the eardrum had been broken, so they replaced them with some plastic. And then after replacing the plastics, they told me, Steve, you're going to rest here for 2 months, and then we do another operation. It was costly staying in the guest rooms, so they gave me an okay to come back to Kenya and go back after 3 months.
My mom stepped in as the donor, as my second donor. We got to India and we did the transplant and the procedure and everything was okay. The kidney picked very well. And in the next 3 years and about 8 months, it has served me well. In India, they give you a file.
Okay.
You work with your file. So when you go to India, they'll know everything that they do, they file it. And when you're coming back to the country, they'll give you a copy of your file so that when you visit your doctor, he'll be able to see what they were doing and where they can pick from. Mm-hmm. So that is one difference between Kenya and India. Mm-hmm. Yeah, at least when you go to the doctor, they don't have to start afresh and then they know where to start from, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yes. So this was my first file.
In August 2017, I went back to India. The eye, which was not blinking, was now operated on, and they put some implant on the eye to make it close. So I stayed in India for 2 weeks after the eye implant surgery, and it started blinking. Before the operation, I used to use eye drop after every 2 hours. Hospital at New Delhi did some woodwork on the eye. Although it is irritating now, it is not as much as before the surgery.
Unfortunately, in 2016, I got TB. I lost a lot of weight. In fact, at that time, when I went to the hospital, I woke up one morning with pain on my graft. So I went to the hospital. I did an ultrasound. Everything was normal. I did kidney function test. Everything was normal. But I had lost weight, a lot of weight at that, because I was weighing about 41. from 60, so you can imagine. So they try to pick it, and because of the immunosuppressant that we take, sometimes it gets to hide the disease so much. So everything, urine, whatnot, they could not pick the TB. So at that time, I requested my doctor if we could just go back to India, because I thought maybe it was something else that is affecting me. No, when I got to India, that's when they picked that they had miliary TB. This TB affected the graft. They said there's nothing they could do as the damage was already there and it was chronic at that time and irreversible. So I was prepared that at some point in life, my kidney will fail. So I was put on medication for 1 year. After that, I was cleared. That was last year in December. The TB is gone. At the same time, the kidney is gone. And now here I am. I need to go for that transplant.
They told me, Steve, we have found out that your nerves on the head are dead. So it was another painful moment. Then they told me what they could only do was to harvest the nerves from my leg and implant them on my head. And that's what they did on both sides of the head, the right side and the left side.
So what we do, we want to stimulate that nerve and the muscles. And that's what we used to do it.
After the nerves were transported, were harvested from my leg, the leg became so weak I could not walk again. So I went back to the use of crutches. I was advised to go for physiotherapy at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital, and that was in December 2017. Daily, for the last 6 months, I've been attending the physiotherapy sessions, which are very painful. I really find it hard going to the hospital every morning and then reporting to school in the afternoon. It is painful indeed.
This one, we don't just do the massage. We do the massage for treatment purpose.
So I'm just at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital daily, as I hope that one day I'll get the means and the facilitators my journey back to India for that surgery.
No, it's not for beauty. As you see, this is a physiotherapy department. So for here, we deal with the therapeutic treatments.
My family is traumatized. Even the firstborn, who is in Form 1 Kisii School, is really affected. And the other ones who are also in school are wondering. My wife is equally traumatized. My appeal to all doctors, to all surgeons handling patients, please, when you go to the operation theater room, go as a team. My experience has shown me that when doctors go to operate a patient as a team, the risks are minimal.
My brother has stepped in as the donor, but unfortunately we don't have enough finances. I'm really hoping and praying that this transplant will serve me for long, considering that the other two, they have only served me for a short while. I'm really praying and hoping that it's going to serve me for long, for the longest time ever. Yes. My family is supportive. They are really encouraging me and supporting me in all this and working with me during this journey. Of course, out there are some people, even the relatives and all that, who will come and discourage you. Yeah. Some believe, like, this is not a normal disease. But to me, I know there's so many people out there who are sick. So there are those who will come and discourage you, like, why, like, now you here, you are harvesting all our kidneys, what are we gonna do? But I would say my immediate family is really supportive, and my friends.
Still to come on Health Digest.
Because we don't know what will happen post-operation, we don't know. Yeah.
Do you ever get tired and want to give up?
Well, there are those days when you wake up and you feel like, I don't have the strength to fight. I don't know. But then again, you ask yourself, then I give up, what next?
At school level, I really miss the teaching that I used to do from grade 1 to grade 8, and especially in grade 8 where I used to handle Kiswahili. Mimi nilikuwa mwenyekiti wa chombo la Kiswahili katika gatuzi la Kisii.
If you look at Indians themselves, they have numerous complaints about the health system. Every so often you hear massive complaints about facilities, areas where they felt the doctors didn't do so well, areas where they feel they have inadequacies, and these are real issues. And there are certain conditions people just ought to know cannot be treated. The time when we want to send you to India is when we know there is something you can get in the Indian system that you can't get here, or that system offers you a cost advantage. In the absence of those two factors, then it makes no sense to go to India. If you have met doctors here and they've said there's no medical treatment that's outside of this, that should suffice.